What's going on YouTube? This is Kid Lantig, and this is just a little follow-up on my Sumo frames from NNskate 110s by 4. Now this is just a quick installation of the frame. I already have one bolt in there. I'm just going to throw a second one in there so you see how I do it. These are the smaller bolts, not like the thicker bolts compared to the Micro Delta F or the Sebas. So here's a quick comparison. So it's a lot easier to install this if you have these smaller bolts, but more on that in a second. So what I do is I literally just put the bolt on the tip of my tool. You can't put the bolt in there with your hands. It's difficult as fuck. I've tried. And then you just go kind of like that. You see how the cat holds it? You land right in there. Treat it like a lady. You know, you go nice and slow at first. And when it's ready, you drill it out, boy. Anyways, going back to the front. Bolt's already in there. Okay, I'll show you how I do that. It's not that simple. It's not that hard. It's just it's not that hard, bro. Just put the bolt, tighten it, and look at that. Just like that, it's installed. So for people asking about installation, that's that. If you have the thicker bolt, you need to have an Allen key at least this long to comfortably be able to get it in there straight. If you are at any angle with the thicker bolt on, let's say, anything with this kind of mounting that uses the thicker bolts, you need an Allen key that's at least this size, or else you won't have the angle to go in a straight line. The spacing is that much machine that you have to go straight. I'm gonna follow up on a video on that because I gotta go to Home Depot to get that tool, because that's the only reason why I'm not installing it on my Micro Delta F. Now that that's out the way, the frames only flex here when there are no wheels here. Now that makes sense because this is the design of the frame. Obviously this part, the mouth area, is gonna be less powerful or strong or structurally than the back, than the base. So this will flex a little bit, but once the wheel's in there, there's no flex because obviously there's no integrity to keep it from you squeezing it. But once the wheel's in there, these things are sturdy as hell. Okay, now that installation took what, 30 seconds with one hand and talking shit. So let's look at, quote unquote, the second wheel clearance. Now, if you're turned off by 2 millimeters of space or 3 millimeters of space and you're not a professional, then you sound like those cyclists that are pro but not pro because they just have the gear and everything is for speed and this and that, and they fucking suck because somebody will come and dust them with a $200 bike. Yeah, if you're one of those guys, shut the fuck up, bro. Just fucking skate. Now, the second wheel is in. See if I could turn on the flash on this. Okay, we can. Let's look at the clearance. Look at the clearance. For fucking sakes, man. Okay, so let's talk about the clearance. Is it touching? No. Is it close? Yes. Would I give a fuck if it was 5 millimeters higher? No! As long as it's comfortable. So, I got some people talking about this goddamn second wheel clearance, and it's like, dude, are you pro? No. So then what is... So there you go. Look, second wheel clearance. It's pretty freaking tight, bro. I'm not measuring this. You just look at it. Are you satisfied with it or not? That's up to you. Okay. So let's turn this flash off real quick. Okay. Actually, you know what? The flash kind of gives it that pop. Anyways, so one more thing before I go. Actually, a couple more things before I go. Check this out. What you got up in there, boy? Bone ceramic Swiss. Sorry, guys. I can only be humble for so long. Anyways, so I bought this boot just to buy it because it was available, and I was like, I'll experiment with the build later. And I gotta say, I rode this for 5 minutes, and it was really comfortable, really maneuverable. Even with my wheels rubbing together, I could still feel how maneuverable the skate was. So look, this is what I'm talking about with the wheels rubbing. Now I spoke to NNskates. First of all, it only took 2 days to get here. Thank you, NNskates. I'm still, originally this boot was supposed to be for my endless frames, but again, we've had an endless wait, and that's not to shit on endless and not to shit on, listen, I'm a consumer. I buy shit, I use it, it's fun or it's not, and I'll tell you. From what I've seen and felt, it's a sturdy product. They've replied to me on time, and it was 2 day shipping. Cannot complain. The guy answered all my questions. I'm buying more from this company. I also love endless frames. I'm not gonna be picking sides here. I'm just not. I'm not. This is not reality TV. This is not Democrats versus Republicans. I'm not with that shit. It's either you skating or not. And if 2 millimeters puts you off, then go fuck yourself. Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm just ranting because it's like sometimes you get on Reddit and you're just like, damn, these motherfuckers is just savages. So yeah. So here are the wheels rubbing together. Obviously this affects performance, but even with the wheels rubbing together, even with the wheels rubbing together, sorry about the interruption. Even with the wheels rubbing together, the experience of this wheel being lower gives you this crazy pivoting ability. I'm a size 11 through 12. This boot particular is a 12. And the 333 millimeter length is not as encumbersome as I thought it would be. It's super nimble, super stable. And when these wheels free up, I'm assuming it's going to be really fast. This doesn't bother me because I spoke to the NN frame gentleman. I've spoken to Undercover Wheels, and basically Undercover Wheels, they give you a little, it says 110 millimeters, but these are about 111 millimeters. Undercover gives you a little bit of extra. Thank you, Undercover, for that. Even though this is somewhat of a issue for the first 10 minutes, after riding it, they've already loosened up a little bit. And once that 0.5 millimeter of urethane is worn out, I'm assuming one downhill is going to fix this. I was going to put old wheels in there just to, have the gap and test them out. But I'm just going to ride it like this and experiment. Because if it fixes on its own, then we'll have that solution. If it doesn't, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. The product is a good product. It's easy to install. It's made well. It's shipped quickly. Now, the only thing is, how does it ride? I still got to get on that. This is the setup for now. Hopefully, I answered some questions. It does not feel... It is super long, but it doesn't feel like you're stuck. And that makes it feel awesome because your crossovers... clipping is not an issue because I don't cross over with one foot in front of the other. I step over. So if you step over, you're not going to have no clipping. Again, maneuverability is great. Speed, I can't attest to that yet because I need to get rid of this rubbing. So thanks for checking this out. I showed you the spacing on the second wheel. So if that's what's putting you off or turning you on, then that's you. Build quality is good. Shipping is good. That's all I got to say. I'm going to go out and skate and see how they feel. Also, since it is 110, I'll probably experiment between my intuition and that just to see what gives me more support. And we'll go from there. It didn't feel high at all because I've been riding 110, so I'm already used to the height. This whole thing with 3 and 2 millimeters and Trinity is lower and this is this and you're 4 millimeters. If you're not a professional or if it feels good, then that's all that matters. If you're not a professional,